Hello and welcome back. We are about to get this show on the road for, of course, map number 2. It's ENCE's pick of Vertigo after what was not a great Inferno and not a great start, as well as some piles will fall immediately to save me.
Yep, clean headshot coming in. That's exactly what we want to see from HONORIS in the start here. Double nade towards sandbags. It was more of a B-sided place. They're going for an A retake by the looks of things with the smokes that they have. It has really started fast here. And the tension already building in the early moments. They're going to let that bomb go down. Maybe a nade? Yeah, there is a nade to follow, but not going to take Madden down. It was just the one. Still, with a man to the good, you give them the benefit of the doubt on this one. Very slowly swinging in here on that CT side. All of them working their way around, though, very quickly. They do have a kit as well, getting him onto the bomb nice and early. Madden going to take one. Swing comes in. There's just so many bodies. They're not going to be able to stop the defuse, and that's the round going the way of the CT side. What an absolute minefield it was to get through, but somehow they pulled off the defuse.
Oh, HONORIS, good start. Really, really good start. Now, unfortunately, I have been informed that there is going to be a little bit of a tech issue for kind of 2 minutes or so. So, first of all, apologies. We are just going to restart the server and get it all ready and raring, I think is the way to put it. But for now, we sit here and wait. And we got into podcast mode, Scrib, for a second. But first of all, not a bad start. Not a bad start. We'll jump on towards cams for a second as well, as we'll kind of discuss the very little we've seen, but I guess on a more macro sense, how things are looking overall in towards this series, right? Where we currently stand, we've got HONORIS 1610 map number 1, pretty clean stuff, I've got to say, generally. Their CT side was fantastic, and now we're in a position where, once again, we're looking at HONORIS starting off strong, and this could be a thing of ENCE where their mental is not quite there.
Yeah, I kind of called it at the end a legitimate victory, and by that I mean the fact that, you know, HONORIS, it's not like they won because a player was completely popping off, or there were poor performances on the end side. Dihar was still looking good. Snappy was looking pretty good as well. Just the way that it kind of panned out, the way that they played their T side for me, and the mid-rounding that they had was super effective. And they really got into the heads of ENCE, and it looked like, yeah, this is a clean 16-10. Didn't go overtime, didn't go 16-14. You know, there wasn't a crazy clutch in there that made all the difference. Because those are the things that from time to time can feel a bit more random, right? You're not expecting that. They were winning easy rounds, it looked like, especially on that T side. But then they moved on to the CT end. They played a very passive CT side, and yet still able to call really well. And we give a lot of that credit across to Taz, as we did.
Yeah, of course. You know, Taz doing a lot, and just kind of bringing the experience. I guess probably the better way to put it. But you know, generally this side for me have been really impressive. Right, we're looking at this game and thinking how things are going to pan out in a more long-term sense, and everyone was generally saying, hey, you know, ENCE should take this. Shouldn't really be too problematic for them. And then we're looking at the likes of, you know, what they can do later down the line, if it's B&E, their face, or heat, or whatnot. But you know, overall, I think there's a lot of credit to Lunatic. Apparently, so Lunatic does the bulk of the IGLing, is my understanding, and then of course Taz is the experience. But I gotta say, if that is correct, and we're off the right information, Lunatic's doing that calling. He did a fantastic job in map number 1, right? I mean, he really pulled apart that outside, and I think a lot of credit has to go towards him in terms of how he was able to read into ENCE. And then, of course, we can fall back on Taz, right? A legend of the game. He's got a wealth of experience to kind of fall back on, and he rolled back the years a couple of times. He was called up upon in a couple of clutches when he delivered, right? So we'll give him his credit. But hey, first round on the board, not a bad start at all for HONORIS. It means that now they're going to have money to work with. ENCE will as well, though. They're going to bomb plant, so it means we're going to potentially see the likes of, you know, a Galil buy coming through, maybe a couple of Mac 10s, see if they can get some cash under their belt. But this is quite an important one. I think with the current meta, it's not really about who wins the pistol, it's about who wins the force spike. And we saw ENCE do earlier and start off pretty strong on towards Inferno before it all came crumbling down.
Yeah, no, that is very, very true, to be fair. We needed, you know, a lot of the prowess, I think, coming from some of the individuals really looking good over on the HONORIS side. ENCE, though, like you say, with the break back in, their individuals need to, especially Sunpius. Sunpius, I think, was the weaker performer, right? So we're really looking to him to have a bit more of an impact here with the AWP on Vertigo, which of course I'll start off on the T side, so it's really not an easy run to begin with. So I don't know. After that first one, just sort of on the eye test, as it were, we love to talk about as pundits. I think that on the eye test, HONORIS looked really good for me. So I start to worry for ENCE here if they're not able to hit the sort of refresh button then we do have a little bit of panic stations coming in. And especially if Honoris can get off to that strong start.
No, I agree. And I think as well, when you look at a player like Sampayas, I think he's, I mean, like I think a lot of AWPers are, he's a confidence player, right? And if he doesn't feel that confidence, I think he really starts to struggle. I think he gets his own head quite a bit as well. I think there's a sort of pressure upon him to perform in a way that maybe he's not always needed to, but he sort of feels like he must do. And I think at times it can be really tough. And Vertigo is notoriously probably the hardest map for AWPing at the moment, both T side and CT side. I've spoken to a lot of players who just opt not even to pick up the AWP on towards Vertigo, would rather just play with a rifle because they have a better chance of finding kills and being impactful. So, you know, all in all, this could get actually a little bit messy. Now, we do have players joining back in the server, so hopefully we can get this show back on the road in just a moment and everything sort of gets confirmed. But while it does, rather than us sitting here and aimlessly talking for a little bit, we're going to first on to a very, very quick break. When we are back, though, which from my understanding should be in about 3-4 minutes, we'll be back live and going. So stay with us, stick by. We'll see you all in just a moment.
Auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blicke über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blicke über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Backpack, Kippen und Drinks gegen Tristesse. Großstadtbild, komm mir nicht weg. Kopf fragt, mach kein Pisstest, nein. Ich will nicht auf deine Party gehen, nein. Engel und Teufel tanzen schwanzig. Von deinen Lippen tropft der Chardonnay. Ich küss ihn weg, bevor du schlafen gehst. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Faded auf den Wohnzimmerdeal. Baby, sag, wieso sind wir hier? Kann sein, dass wir den Boden verlieren. Wir heben ab morgens um 4. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Look into my face. Tell me now why you want to wait.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gents. We're about to get the show back on the road. Thankfully, tech issues, hopefully, seem to be behind us. Touch wood and all the good stuff. And we're back on, in towards round number 2. HONORIS kickstarted things quite nicely. First run on the board for them. ENCE, of course, they get a bump on, so it gives them some money to work with.
Yep, I'm going to go for the buy. And rightfully so, the power of the 4 spies can never be underestimated. They're going to boost the player up nice and early here. Oh, good timing on the nade, though. Taz knows what's up, and we've had a little bit of a mishap with the boost. Makes some noise down there as well. That's probably going to have been heard by Raiko. He's going to go in for a flash peek, but there's nothing showing at the very least. Nice nade onto Dupree there. So they know how to return the damage, but again, no commit as yet.
Very, very slow and sort of methodical. What we're seeing right now. It looks like they want to take some contacts, which will work well. Sammy will fall early, and we're all, you know, asking questions about what some pilots are going to be like. That's not bad.
It is a good opener. They're, again, you know, playing things really slowly, looking to turn away from the A bomb site even, and they're not biting on the side of Honoris. One will rotate through Sobol, but there's still 2 players on the B site itself. A flash peek for information. Again, not spotting it out, but from back 90, Raiko's got a really difficult spot to clear here, especially because their utility is on the downs. There's the 2K coming in from him, nearly 3 as well. Taz with that MP9 able to finish off another, just going to be on to Snappy. Moving in through the site here. They do indeed have the nades down, but they don't have the manpower anymore. He tries to go for a bomb plant, not going to happen for him. And second round goes the way of Honoris. ENCE already looking flustered here on this map.
And I think for ENCE as well, for me, you know, they get that opener over towards ramp, and they just don't, you know, they should have maybe just taken a little bit more space, right, and forced Honoris to be really awkward in terms of that retake back over towards ramp. They had the control, they had the space, and they sort of give it back up, and it kind of, for Honoris, they just, you know, hold the fort, right, keep their positions, expect a rotation coming through, and, well, they get it. Really, really well played. 2-0 for Honoris, and that's where we can start cementing a good start for them in their CT side. Vertigo, a map in which ENCE has looked really strong as of late, a map in which, you know, recently we would consider them kind of to be the kind of the favourites in this sort of instance, but I mean, right now, not exactly a dream start by any means. Statistically speaking as well, you look at a map like Vertigo, ENCE played 6 times in the last 3 months with some fairly decent wins under their belt against, like, you know, Complexity, Pain, AGO, Gamer Legion. Their only losses to Cloud9, fair enough, and a double OT to Endpoints, and of course UK Rise Up, so expected in my eyes. Maybe a little bit of bias, but Honoris, either way, doing good work. So's Madden.
Yep, nice opener coming in from him. Thank goodness Sammy finds one over on the other side, but this mid area is getting overwhelmed. It's going to be a B hit, actually. There's no one on the B bomb site itself. Sobol gave his position up. He thought it was more heavy towards mid, so Sobol's got to be very careful with these next few steps. Flash comes around for him. Spots one. It's Dihar on the Deagle, though. He misses, and therefore goes down. The support is in now for Sobol. Meanwhile, Valde, with this bomb, is going to capitalize and get himself a cheeky bomb plant on A. So they've given them the runaround. They've given it to them effectively, and they will be a little surprised that the bomb's gone down. Is there any chance for Valde into the round, though? That's now the question. The Deagle in hand. He's already found one. 3 to add to that tally? I doubt it. But this is where he could sing. They will clear all the angles. Don't know where he's at. He's just on default, mate. He's not moved a single step. Finds out of the first.
No.
Oh, he's close to the second. They're giving him a few chances here, but into a double spray down. He will never come out of that one alive. 3rd in a row for Honoris, but it's costly.
Oh my God, he gave that a good go. I'll give him his credit. I'll give him his flowers. Fair play. Couple of kills under his belt. But it's just not quite enough. Of course, a bomb plant will solidify their economy, but they're going to have a full buy anyway. So it doesn't make too much of a difference. Some Pyres in towards the AWP. And now this is where, for me, question marks start to arise. We were kind of calling on him. A little bit quiet in map number 1. It wasn't exactly a dream of a performance. What is he going to be like with an AWP on towards T side of Vertigo? Notoriously very difficult to find comfortability on towards your T side, especially when AWPing. So it's a big question. Of course, for Honoris, this would normally be classed as a bonus, but in this case, not really because of how expensive it's been.
Yes, very true. Nice nade. Oh, a second one as well. Lunatic left very low. He needs to get out of here. Probably going to pull out those double nades quite a few times on the end side, so do have to be careful. So far, Honoris not looking to take control of ramp in an aggressive manner. They are a very passive CT side play and go for the prod and the poke in the mid stages of the round.
Again, very slow, right? I mean, things are good in terms of the damage dealt over towards the likes of Lunatic, but all in all, HONORIS still haven't budged an inch. They haven't given up too much space. They're wanting to take fights here, and it's looking like this ramp hit will be the first bit of contact. Is he going to be snappy in towards that first fight, and how does he fare?
You're very ready for this one. Snappy coming around the corner any second now, you would presume. Oh, the leg lands. It's big damage. No finish off, though. You know where the AWP is at. Going to try and get some Pius in there. Meanwhile, Molotov pushes him away. He manages to find one while blind. Dealt with by Diha. This is a mess. Oh, the swing from Sobol. Maybe a little too aggressive. Flash comes round. It's ineffective, though. And a 4 versus 2. They can't hit the retake here. ENCE will find their first.
My God. My God. There's a world in which that could have been a different story. They all finds the kill rather than the leg. That round could have swung the other way. Good cracker of a shot, I've got to say. In the flames, full blind. Preempts that one. A little bit of fortune. Doesn't make a difference, though. It's the only kill that HONORIS are walking away with. And ENCE are finally going to put their first round on the board. This is what matters most for them. An opportunity as well now to start building on this. Use it as a catalyst to further rounds, further success. And start to chip away at HONORIS. Start to build up a strong T side, which I'm going to say, not always the easiest. Vertigo can be a bit of a cruel mistress on that T side. And ENCE are sort of feeling it already. Now they're breaking that deadlock. First on the board. Looking for more. Looking to continue ticking this over. For HONORIS as well. Sort of back to the drawing board a bit for them. Because money isn't exactly fruitful. Samey, Taz. Economy in a bit of a low situation. But they are actually going to fall by INCES. They could have played, around that 2k mark and have money to work with in towards the next. But no, they're just going to go for the full investment. Failure to convert here. They're down to an eco. And ENCE could be able to tie this up.
Just usual utility for now. Ryko got to be careful of showing his head. They are looking for him, but so far, just the utility reigning in. Double nade going to go towards Dupree again, I would imagine. Yeah, triple nade, in fact, to follow up. So they definitely confirmed that there's no one in that spot. That is for damn sure. There's the first fight. It's Snappy to take out Ryko, despite the flash coming in from Taz. He's going to try and recover the weapon here, and he will do so. Solid stuff, but they need to watch themselves. It is a man advantage for ENCE.
Slowly, but surely, making it over towards ramp. And actually, it's looking like HONORIS are doubling back the way. The second they lose some control towards the A side, they might even just call for an early save. If they, pull the pin now, ENCE, and take this control, HONORIS gamble stacking towards B might just call for a full save. And I think they will now, right? They don't have time to rotate over.
Yeah, just hand it over and take it into the next, right? They've got 3 weapons now to work with, so they can be pretty happy with that. And hopefully they can find something in the next round. I like to see some aggression. I think ENCE starting off on this T side are actually getting a bit of an advantage because they are just, dictating the pace really, really well. Able to take the fights where they want them and how they want them. And HONORIS ultimately need to change things up.
Agreed. Oh, exactly that.
Oh,
no! Dear. Ooh, unlucky fella. That is something you do hate to see. And that now means that thing right there where it says 0, it'll go up to 1 next round as Dia has fallen off the map. It's not going to make a difference in the grand scheme, but it is still funny. But Dia, he can laugh about it. Not the end of the world as well, thankfully for ENCE. They have plenty of money to work with in the back pocket. The bank is looking all right. Looking a little bit full, so they can buy up, no problems asked. For Dia, though, is quite funny as he falls 51 stories down in Vertigo. Just like that, though. Ends up to 2. Within 1, within reaching distance. But the call to save I do like, because it does just mean they got a little bit more to work with. For Ryko and Samey, I don't know if they fall by here once again. I think it's very risky. I think just stick around 2k, right? Have money to work with in towards the next round, regardless of how this results in. But as you can see, there's been 1 accident, and they are preventable.
Well, hopefully it doesn't go up by any more in this game, but time will indeed tell on that front. Diha looking to try an entry up over on towards that B bomb site. Here we go with the aggression that I was talking about. Flash comes in. It's so good. He must have been heard. Sobol for the trade. Can't find it. Madden tracks his head. Brilliant stuff, and that's the 2-man advantage, I think, is all they need at this point. They tried to go for something aggressive. They did indeed hear me, but Unfortunately, they'll drop both of their guns, which, you know, is kind of the win condition into this round. What's happening over on B then? Taz. Adventurous. Good for one. Backs away. Still going to be the advantage, but it's a little slim, you know. Madden tagged up. They've got to watch themselves here. The Deagle, oh, finding damage. The AWP doesn't trade back, so... yeah, looking at a 4v3, but a 4v3 that's a bit scary on paper.
Just a little bit, right? I mean, this is one of those buys for HONORIS where, again, we're not expecting all too much. They can make it expensive. My God, that could be scary. And Raiko has slipped the net. He might get a bit of space to work with, and he's heard some info. Some pass will fall. That's a free AWP.
They didn't hear the footsteps as well. He kind of panicked. Whoa, a little bit goes onto the A1S. Loses out the fight against D-High. Definitely had that with a Deagle. He will be kicking himself for that one. Because that's the difference maker in this round. Wow, it really is. They're going to move to save it and give it away. Ah, that is such a shame. It was right there on the silver platter, but just ran headfirst into the silver platter, I suppose, for Raiko there. Unlucky, but ENCE getting the desired result.
Yeah, I guess that's what matters most, right? Honestly, they had a really good opportunity there. I think they'll kick themselves. They let that sort of slip away from them. That should have been a round for HONORIS, to be perfectly honest. I mean, they had the control. They, like we said, Raiko slipping the net. He could have doubled up in towards bottom ramp, but it always but to maybes. Hindsight's 2020 and all the great anecdotes. We're all tied square. Hence, their map pick. They needed to put up a performance here. My God, so far, they are. This has not been bad at all. Since we've had that little bit of a, you know, a stop from HONORIS in terms of them steamrolling, and since their momentum's been paused a tad, ENCE have looked pretty decent on towards their C side, but HONORIS, bad economies, rough situations in terms of their janky buys have sort of meant they've never felt comfortable. Now we see a full buy though, so this could change things.
Sobol looking to get cheeky.
Not heard.
He's in. He's in. He's in behind Madden. Doesn't know it, though. Doesn't know how good he's got it. Madden's never going to check that angle, though, so he does get the catch. Sticking around close to the smoke, maybe for a little bit more as well, once this smoke dissipates. Valde's there with the bomb. Flash comes in to get him... oh, out! He's stuck! And his backside gives him away. Oh, that's so awkward. That is so very awkward. The 4-on-4 that never should have happened is here now for ENCE. And they've spotted a player, and they will take down the player in on that B bomb site. D-Har with the double entry. This is what he's like. This is what he can do. He will get traded, but still, it's only Sammy remaining now.
Yeah, money comes down, but it's not going to make a difference at all, is it? Rotate coming over. Snappy or see off Sammy. That's all she wrote. ENCE take a lead. And this could potentially start to be quite a convincing one. Of course, there is still some money in arrears left for the CT side, but it's not exactly comfortable. Hence why we see attack pause called. Going to have a bit of a weird one, where we're going to see potentially, because you say me invest in, he can even pick up an 8 if he wants to. But it's just a buy around, it's never going to be great. I wouldn't even mind a bit of a half buy here, right? Maybe say me invest in here a rifle, because he'll still have money, but the rest of the team just stick above that $2K in the bank, so at least they have some money to work with. But, you know, all in all, I wouldn't want to see too much of a buy coming through. That would make me feel a little bit uncomfortable. But ENCE, leading their favour, looking decent, starting to tick over consecutive rounds on the board, and that's what matters most. They're a very, very much a momentum-heavy, confidence-heavy side, and they're looking pretty confident now.
Lunatic going to hear the presence in towards the bottom end of the A ramp. As always. 5-7 is Sobol looking for some action. Is he going to go pushing in? He's got a flash. He is indeed. Valde, oh, turns away and actually hides himself. What's happening here then? Valde going to go hunting for him. 5-7 can't best the AK. So that's the opener that they always need in a round like this. When you're up against the iffy buy, it's very comfortable once you've found the first.
Yeah, I think with the lack of control now they've got as well, this should be comfortable. Bomb will go down. See everything set up pretty easily. I wouldn't even mind for HONORIS as well. Just, you know, flooding everything they can in towards us. Like, no point going for a save, right? Just try and make it expensive, and there's a good start.
Yeah, not bad at all. They're all grouped up together here, trying to find the trade onto Madden. The flash comes in, and Madden, he's in the shooting range right now. Looking very good indeed. They left that side open on purpose to try and channel in the defenders, and they will indeed, mowing them all down. 5th round comes through.
Yeah, we're looking at that and thinking, you know, maybe HONORIS can walk away 2-3 kills. We're taking the small old silver linings, but yeah, it doesn't make too much of a difference. Expected to go towards ENCE, but they're starting to build up a fairly respectable T side, I gotta say. This is looking pretty good. We're seeing already this ENCE side put up a pretty monstrous performance in terms of how they're controlling, dictating the pace. The tempo's set to their tone. And HONORIS, it's not exactly how comfortable it was. And to be fair as well, HONORIS' CT side was what they did best on towards Inferno. Right now, they're overextending just like that, and they're starting to struggle. Samey will fall early doors.
Not looking good, is it? Not looking good. ENCE have found their groove here. Reliably getting the early openers. They tried to bolster the defense over on B on the HONORIS side, but it was the A side that let slip, or I suppose more specifically mid, but all the same. It's going to be another fight in towards mid here, and it's Valde to win it. Lurking presence. The old 1-for-1 for Spinks. He's not been living up to it at the high end, that's for sure, but here in the lower down tiers, maybe he can get it done. Traded out eventually by Ryko, but hard to tell at the moment. A minute left on the clock, and ENCE have got all the time in the world to play with.
Yeah, very quiet, very slow. All in all, things could get a little bit messy. Snappy will fall down to Ryko, but Dia was waiting. He was ready. So was Madden. Bomb will go down. Ryko left all alone. They know he was over towards that B site. There's nothing he can do.
This is really more like it. This is really more like it from ENCE. Exactly what we were expecting on the first map. Just able to play around a little bit and rely on their individuals to do a lot of the heavy lifting. Did not work out over there. There were some awkward issues in the middle that maybe had their mental gone, and some of the early rounds on this map also looked very shaky. They took a tactical timeout, and it seems that that is enough of a mental reset, because this looks much more like ENCE.
Agreed. This is better. This is sort of what we're expecting, right? And I think, you know, for ENCE, the one on the sides, they're tactically very deep. And we know this, right? You know, a bit of a snappy masterclass in terms of the tactics at times. Dia really adds to it in terms of how he can mid-round as well if he wants to. But I think for ENCE, one of the things that makes his side so scary is they can always just double back on towards their firepower. They can always rely on the kind of the foundations for them and the fundamentals. And right now, that's sort of all they need to do. They don't really need to be too smart or outplay, HONORIS, outcall, anything too kind of, you know, overzealous right now. They're just playing off the back of firepower, winning their 50s, being traded as well when they do fall. And that brings a lot of confidence towards a side like ENCE, who require momentum under their belt and wind in their sails to feel good. I think if you're an ENCE fan, you're feeling pretty good right about now that potentially Nuke is going to be on the cards, because this is a very stable T side. I mean, realistically, if I can see ENCE put up 9 on the C side, I mean, this has already been pretty good. We can even maybe see a world in which they push for double digits, because HONORIS just can't seem to scrape the surface.
Well, HONORIS are going to continue to attempt scraping said surface. They will be back through with a buy here, but again, low weaponry in place as MP9 and a FAMAS stick out like a sore thumb. And that's certainly what's happening to them right now. The thumb getting sorer and sorer, I would imagine. Either way, and it feels like a lot of the time all they need is just control of a certain area, whether that's ramp or whether that is the B stairs. They're going to go faster into this one. A lot of flashes coming through. Ryko standing strong, though, on the A1S. Still a deadly weapon to get past, even though it has indeed been nerfed. Smokes will go down. Presence now here for HONORIS, and Ryko goes hunting. Madden cannot stop him, and it's all going to be down to Sunpius and Valde out of nowhere. They're going to look to do some damage. Round itself, though, you'd say is pretty much over here. Valde traded out, and now just the AWP of Sunpius. An insurmountable task. He does have the explosiveness for it, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this just feels, unfortunately, like it might be done and dusted. It's just a case of, does he want to even test the waters, right? Does he even want to have a look in with the AWP, or does he just park up in a corner? I mean, of course, it's quite a long wait. Little does he know. Sobel's rotating in. Does he catch him in that transition, looking towards a saver? Sunpius seems to expect. He's got an idea. 30 seconds and counting. Looking for a bomb plant seems pretty much out of the question. It's just more of a case of, Can he keep the AWP in play? And right now, he's slowly but surely dipping his toes into shark-infested water. He's walking into it. And he dropped off by Sobel. 4th on the board for HONORIS. With 3 remaining alive is good. No AWP scooped up. Doesn't matter too much. I think they could actually drop one over if they want to. They will. There we go. Sobel will drop one over towards Sammy. HONORIS, a pretty decent little buy all built up for them. So, 6-4. ENCE still in a relatively commanding lead, and of course, plenty of cash left for them to work with. They just make sure they don't let HONORIS get too close in towards this game and start to build up some momentum themselves.
Madden tagged down early here. There's a lot of utility in from both sides going for a fast A hit. We've got Sammy on the AWP. Ooh, another good nade. Sammy on the AWP. Can he catch? He does indeed. They were not ready for him. Over towards the sandbags. One nade goes down, but it's not enough to throw his aim off. And that's the opener that HONORIS wanted. Staying hot on the heels of their opponents here and looking revitalized after the win in the previous.
And now things do quiet down just a tad. I mean, for ENCE, right, they're in a position where with numbers not in their favor, it's the lack of information that's going to make them really question themselves and go back to that thing I was talking about earlier where they just rely on their fundamentals. This is where they're going to just be looking to take aim duels, right, and just trade each other out to get a bomb down, try and get a post barn set up.
Sammy up close. He's not going to get smoked off. Should be good for another one from here, even if he does get traded. Flick lands, and he can go back in for a re-aggress. They take him. Oh, big fights need to be won here. Lunatic going to get caught off back into a 3 versus 3. It's all on the retakers then. Trying to go for the open plant there. Ryko going to take his head, but it's just a millisecond too late. Stun Pius is going to have to do a lot of the work on this one. AWP in hand. 5 bullets in the magazine. Valde, meanwhile, the last line of defense on 19 HP. Not looking too good. Ryko has got himself a kit. If they can get him on the bomb and just keep him protected, that's all they're after. Valde, meanwhile, is going to creep inside the smoke to try and deny any chance at all. Oh, this is looking good. The AWP rings off, does go down. Trade has to be so fast here from Sobol. He's retrieved the kit, but he can't find Valde in and around the smoke. There's no time left to go. Valde doesn't matter what happens to his life because he's won the round. And the two of them in a big 3v2 will get around for ENCE.
It's a really, really, really good round. I mean, for ENCE as well, coming in towards that take. Numbers on in their favor, man advantage for HONORIS, and you're thinking maybe HONORIS just pump the brakes, see if they can play it out in their favor. Doesn't happen. Credit to ENCE. I think just the way in which they're just dancing around the positions, using each and every sort of angle they've got set up and the little bits of utility they dropped just to make that post spawn all the more secure. And they just play the clock. The clock's their best friend there. For ENCE, it works wonders. Up to 7 for them. Lead once again extended to 3. This time, very aggro over towards Ramp as Madden takes a lot of damage, and he should fall. He will.
Yeah, goodness gracious me. Look at the mowdown that comes in. Aggression to Ramp. Maybe HONORIS should have gone for it earlier because it looks pretty damn good, in fact. So they're hoping to answer back pretty quickly on this one. 4v2, ENCE. Well, it's one step above. They had the bomb down last time. So not expecting too much out for this.
What do these two
Slowly
do?
Working their way up. Yeah, I don't know what these two do, to be honest with you now. It's looking like they might go down in just a second here. Clean flash over the top. Dihar left so blind. Finished off. Valde, the last one. Ooh, and he does once again put up a pretty good fight. I don't think he'll find this on 11 HP, though. That's for sure.
It feels lost, doesn't it? I mean, getting a bomb down would be nice, but unfortunately, out of the question completely. And Taz will see it off. We love to see it. Gotta say as well, Taz's been a little bit quiet in towards this map, but to be perfectly honest, he hasn't really been called upon too often. I kind of feel for him. He's playing rotate so often, right? And it makes his job so difficult because he's never really in the thick of it. He's not in the action as much. Where, you know, the likes of Sammy taking a lot of that action over towards the A site or Ryko over towards B. They're both being kind of stalwarts, pillars in terms of setting up success. HONORIS, though, there is a world in which they could at least see off a very even half the way we had in towards our first map, right? That was 8-7. HONORIS were able to see off a dominant second half. We could see more of the same here for one of the upsets of the year so far. Probably actually the upset of the year so far.
That's in the back of their minds. We have definitely seen them playing a little bit nervous in some scenarios, but they just have to stay confident in themselves that they can get this done. Their understanding of Vertigo is going to be very different from ENCE's, that's for sure, but they're just moving as a pack, playing as a team, working the mid-round, trying to remain unpredictable. They go in straight up 1v1 fights. We've seen a number of rounds, but that is not going to work for them. And ENCE will certainly have their number. Ryko, though, the first to break the silence in this round.
Yeah, now things, of course, doubling back as well for D here. Alone over towards B stairs, looking to maybe bring the numbers level and then becking over a rotation. He's got a decent amount of space to work with as well. No fight taken as of yet. Smoking towards that close ramp position, but as he stands, he is in a pretty advanced position, and he has actually beckoned over the numbers to support him.
Flash is coming round. D-Hart, the first man in for ENCE here, just hoping that a peek comes round for him. Oh, solid. Going to get sprayed down to 8 HP, though. Not looking too good. Sunfire falls above the smoke. They can't find the trade onto Taz. There's a flank coming in from Sobol. They are crunched in once again. HONORIS keeping on them. 6-7. This is looking like another game on our hands. Here we go, boys and girls.
Okay, we could be having a very even affair going into half-time. The same way it wasn't towards Inferno. We know how that ended. Like I said, we could be on for... I mean, you know, we could be on for the upset of the year so far. I think while there's been, you know, a fairly decent amount of performances in ECL and Kato as well. HONORIS taking down ENCE. That's what, number 76 in the world? HONORIS off the top of my head? 72. Number 72 in the world taking down number 17. Would be quite the upset. The IEM Brazil 2023 close qualifiers. What a story that would be as well. My God, HONORIS, they continue to fight well above their expectations, and ENCE continue to underperform. This could get dicey, and realistically, HONORIS should tie the game up here.
One would assume so. However, the mid play could be very scary indeed. Oh, Taz, got to be careful. Swings in at the right time, though. Going to get flashed. Totally blind. He needs the support. He doesn't necessarily need the nades. He needs the manpower. It doesn't come to him, and he will go down. Thankfully found one in all that. D-Hard, meanwhile, forcing Ryko to take a fight, and Ryko's going to win it. They're pretty deep in towards CT. This is a mess all over the place. Sunfire's going to get headshotted. Left on one. Leaves a player on one, though. They've got the A-bomb site ripe for the taking. Lunatic goes down. Oh, they're so low, man. They're getting very lucky on the end of these exchanges, you do have to say, but they've got the bomb down. They've got themselves in a pretty good spot. Valde as well is going to go unchecked. Yes, he is. Samey can't find the trade, and that's a hell of a finisher coming in from Valde. 16-7 right now, this guy. He's taken over the game, and ENCE will be thankful for it.
That's a round in a little bit of a technical standpoint. We're saying, should they have won that? No, ENCE shouldn't have. They came in with limited firepower, and the idea was just take contact in towards mid. Even they themselves were kind of coming in and thinking, hey, we'll just try and make anything work. And it does. Credit. Madden seeing it off pretty clean as well. Baiting out the AWP shot. I mean, the HONORIS, of course, forced into an expensive investment, but it is round number 15, of course. There's no point saving. Lunatic, only an MP9 for him. Ties into just a FAMAS. It's a messy fighting towards ramp already.
Nice find coming in from Solbo, though. Going to take down Snappy. Looking for number 7. Keep it as even as damn it in the turn of the half. That would certainly be, you know, a nice number for them. Nonetheless, it's an early opener coming in. And, well, ENCE back to the drawing board once again. Snappy, I think you can see by the way that he's playing, is visibly frustrated. So will Sunpius. His head pinned to the back wall. They're going to try and brute force their way through ramp, but this is not looking doable at all.
That's a shot. That is seriously crisp. MP9 at this range. Sometimes only has one Victor. Valda is going to be the one this time. Numbers roll level once again. We've got a round on our hands here to see off the half.
Ooh, Taz. Sound shot coming in from him. Only 2 remaining as he gets traded out pretty quickly. 50 seconds, but it's the bomb that Taz drops, by the way. So certainly keep your eyes on that one. Sobol looking good in this round as he finds himself the second. Molotov and the nade going to force him out, and Valde finds the 1v2 in the most unlikely of scenarios. ENCE, therefore, will lead 9-6, but HONORIS not too far behind them.
I mean, we'll see what they're able to do after the break. Ladies and gents, we'll be back in just a few moments. 9-6. Not too bad. See you in a moment.
Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Big Pack, Kippen und Drinks gegen Tristesse. Großstadtbild, komm ich nicht weg. Kopf fragt, mach kein Pisstest, nein. Ich will nicht auf deine Party gehen, nein. Engel und Teufel tanzen schwansee. Von deinen Lippen tropft der Chardonnay. Ich küss ihn weg, bevor du schlafen gehst. Sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Faded auf den Wohnzimmerdielen. Baby, sag, wieso sind wir hier? Kann sein, dass wir den Boden verlieren. Wir heben ab morgens um 4. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Look into my face. Tell me now why you want.
Hello and welcome back. Second half underway. ENCE 9-6 on their map pick. But it's not exactly comfortable script. There's a world still in which we could see a 2-0, the upset of the year so far. HONORIS going towards their T side. And they're looking like they're going to take contact in towards mid.
Taking it slow. HONORIS understand how important this pistol's going to be. They've been pretty good in the pistols actually throughout this series. Molly down, pushes Dihar away. Madden holding his smoke, reckons they're coming towards him, and indeed they are, but they're just going to go straight through. Madden left on 5 HP. Thank goodness it was through a wall. Snappy on the USP needs dealing with now. They get in the way of each other, and he finds 3. Disaster strikes. Ryko just going to try his best to maybe get the bomb down, but even that is going to be a mighty challenge here. They are encroaching. They are surrounding him. The Glock can find heads fast, but not fast enough. There's the pistol for ENCE, and that is a hell of a pickup, guys. Cannot reiterate enough. HONORIS are on 6, but without the pistol in the previous half, they would most likely be on 3.
Yeah.
So it does make a massive difference.
It's a really clean pistol as well from ENCE. I mean, the way they've set themselves up. HONORIS looking like they want to try and, wrap and take contact, but it just doesn't work. ENCE not missing their shots. Dia seeing it off as well. Make sure the bomb doesn't go down. Forces HONORIS into what is a saving towards this second. So no kind of force buy coming through. If they got the bomb down, maybe that might be in the case, and it is kind of the standard meta right now. All in all, really good work. ENCE looking comfortable. Double digits, they're rolling.
Flank coming round from Sun Pius. Going to activate the frontal attack as well, and they just get absolutely mowed down. Not a chance. A little bit of BM from Madden coming in as well at the end there. All in good fun, I hope. And now we will see the buy coming out from HONORIS.
Yeah, mind games starting to be played a little bit as well. I like this from ENCE, making sure they know, or make sure their opponents know, that they are in control. They're in charge. I mean, so far, they damn well are. They are looking really, really clean right now. 11-6. First full buy. We get to kind of sort of test what HONORIS are like on towards their T side. ENCE, this is just a bonus. It's looking like they immediately want to take a little bit of a fight just to alleviate some of that pressure with a lesser firepower.
Big nade. Takes Sammy down to just that one shot potential. ENCE be winning this one. I mean, you know, we start to look towards that third map pretty quickly, I would say. ENCE. Yeah, CT side of Vertigo, I think, is going to be really tough to get through, to be honest. HONORIS have done well so far, but this feels like a bridge too far for me. They've got a lot of work to do to prove me wrong. That is for sure. They know it. They've already overcome a fair amount of beasts on that first map, even with Dihar playing well.
What do they do now, right? They're taking a lot of fights towards that ramp position and they come up with no success. They're just trying to force through the util, but not being given any space to work with. That lurk smoke will give them a bit of space. Now they can start taking some contact. But Snappy's right into it. And a rotation back over towards B stairs.
Yeah, they're very ready for this one. Very ready indeed. Going to go through for a slow contact here. Hope to catch Valde maybe on the jiggle peak. He's on a very tight jiggle peak though. Ooh, doesn't get the molly down. Could make a difference here. We'll see. Ryko leading the charge on the entry. He's going to find one. Not quite the second, but the trade is there from Bridge. Looking good. Sobol to hold. Finds the head of another Madden. Can he take him? Yes, he can. Meanwhile, there's a flank coming in. They're both left incredibly low from their individual fights, though. Down goes the first on the flank, and now just Madden. And honestly, I think he just has to move to save, to be honest. Yeah. They've got plenty of cash and all that good stuff, but there's no way he gets in.
It's just not worth it, right? Keep hold of the M4A1S. I mean, of course, yeah, they're going to have money anyway in towards the next, but with 12 points of HP and, of course, no utility for ENCE or for, of course, Madden specifically, there's no point, right? Just keep hold of what you've got and just keep a little bit of longevity, a little bit of stability over in that econ. That does mean HONORIS slowly, surely chipping away at that deficit up to 7 rounds. Starting to as best they can put up a bit of a formidable T side. We haven't seen consistency from the side or consecutive rounds come all too often. So a lot of work they still need to do until I get comfortable. But for now, we'll take the small positives. We'll take the small positives. Still a decent lead though for ENCE. 4 rounds is a lot of breathing room.
All right. See what ENCE's response is going to look like. HONORIS, so they revitalized again. They did pretty well with that, you know, finding 1 round and then a follow-up, but that was more so on Inferno than it was here. Ooh, Snappy going to get tagged very low. Lucky to be alive, if you ask me. The nade lands right under his feet. And he eats a bullet as well, or maybe 2. Nonetheless, there's no kill.
Yeah, a lot of damage, right? And now for ENCE is again setting themselves up as best they can. Some players might want to get a little bit aggressive here. Have a little look in. I think it's very risky. Behind that Molotov, he does have a little bit of space to work. If he knows his comfortability on the close angle, that he can take that space and no one's going to immediately pop out or anything of the regard. So he's all right. If he hits a shot here, it'll alleviate the pressure and Taz will fall.
Solid stuff. Very slow here. Moving round. Working their way in. Oh, and look at this, though. Valde getting a lot of information in towards middle. He could pull off a quick flank if he plays his cards right with this one. It looks like he will. Landing on the ladder, not making any sound, getting down as quick as possible. So this A hit is on a timer now. It's on a big timer. Or rather, I suppose, a little one. Triple nade comes in. No one going to be round there. Some Pious holding the aggressive line. Looking for more. Whoa, loses his head to Sammy. That's a fair fight, but the flashes round are pretty effective. It all just comes down to Valde on the flank. They're not ready for him. They'll all get mowed down. No way to calm that one fast. and it's 12 for ENCE.
Yeah, it's a great round. And now we're starting to get to a position where such a gap's built up. The same conversation we have over towards Inferno, but on the other side from HONORIS, when we were saying, you know, such a gap built up that we start asking the question of anything that HONORIS do, is it too little too late? Because at the moment now, they're just not looking like the same side on their T side. They're looking at a bit of a shadow of their former selves. They're starting to show. They're getting, you know, nervous, and you can see them. When they get nervous, they panic attack, they take these fights. Taz going for open swings in towards ramp, getting picked off by the AWPer. There's another example. Taz trying to play entry, and he just gets decimated. Easy opening kills go in the way of ENCE, and they will happily take them any day of the week.
Another one for Sunpius. He's aware that there's another player around, but it doesn't really matter. Valde's got it on the lock. Okay, right. Sammy is certainly gaming. He looks pretty good, if you ask me. Him and Raiko are the two sort of standouts so far.
Yeah.
Really, really clean stuff on that headshot. He will get traded out, and nothing's going to happen for the team. But still, we can walk away with the 1 kill.
Yeah, we'll take the silver linings, right? We'll take the anything right now, just because, yeah, I mean, HONORIS, they're just not looking at home. And to be honest, Scriv, we sort of expected this. Let's be realistic, right? This is a map in which, for ENCE, we've seen them compete against some big names. You know, a loss to Cloud9, but at least competitive. Double OT against some fairly respectable tier 2 sides. And for HONORIS, you know, while they're okay at times in this map, it's definitely not a dream pick, and it's a bit of a punish, in fact. They set up a bit of an interesting series where Nuke becomes a wild speculation coming through. Both sides like it. One traditionally better than the other. It's just a case of who takes that momentum early. Who takes the knife round too.
Really could make all the difference, to be fair, moving forwards. Once again, a very slow upswing. Just the nades speaking for themselves, really. Flash comes around for HONORIS. The contact of Sammy going to have to find success here. Snappy awaits on the edge of the smoke. He's able to find one. Spots out another there as well. And you can see ENCE just running rings around them now. Much more comfortable on this map. Much more comfortable, and it really is showing.
What do they do? What do they do now? HONORIS doubling back over towards B. Was a third, fourth round in a row where Taz has, you know, tried to play entry and fallen immediately. And, you know, ENCE are so happy to take these freebies, take these opening kills with no response, no ability to trade. It's a good little setup here as well. Diha tucked in towards back pillar. If he's not Molotov, he'll be all right, but he will be.
Snappy and Diha, though, holding strong from the back end. Diha looking for a fight onto another Sobol. Going to find Snappy. The nade as well. Touches down onto Diha. Is that going to be enough? There's still support in. The thing is, the bomb's down. They've got to be hitting this bomb site. A dry double comes in from Valde. And he is having a game right now. 25-8, ladies and gentlemen. And when there's not been that many rounds in this game, that is quite a substantial scoreline.
Yeah, that's a lovely, lovely little double spray down there. You're spot on, though. I mean, he has been fantastic. Valde stepping up to the plate. He's been actually, we've seen him a couple of times. A variety of weapons looking really clean. His pistols have been looking good. With Deagle in his hands, he's scary. Rifles, we've even seen him wield the AWP on a couple of occasions, mainly when he was saving. But as things stand, pause to be called by HONORIS, and you can sort of see why. Not exactly looking too great right about now. I think on the side, it sort of feels like they're sort of dead in the water now. They're a bit of a dead weight on this map. And I think they are kind of just playing to go in towards Nuke, right? Making sure if they can build up a little bit of confidence before we go in towards Nuke. But I can't see a world in which they come back in towards this map, unfortunately. It would have been a really cool storyline, seeing an HONORIS 2-0 over a side like ENCE, which doesn't look like it's a possibility. ENCE are looking too comfortable, too clean on that CT side, and they are not faltering at all to HONORIS right now.
Yeah, you're right, though. We cast our minds to Nuke, and I'm really excited for that. I think it should be a pretty close one. It's a good one that ENCE play at a high level, though, so again, not going to be easy for HONORIS, but they are much more comfortable on that one. This was the clear sort of punish pick coming in.
Yeah.
And we just sort of assumed, really, that ENCE would be strong enough to just find the 2-0, which is not the case. So they've already done really well to pick up the one map. And a couple of nice rounds in here, a lot to learn from. Going for a slightly different strat into this one. And Sobol, he's going to find two. Sammy as well, looking pretty damn good. Sobol pops off on the ramp, apparently, so buying a lot of time, a lot of space. 3 versus 2. Will they just move to save on this? Probably. They don't have a lot of cash.
Yeah, I think they are. Gonna call it, right? Keep hold of what they've got. So looking at Diaz having a little look around. I don't like the call too much, but if they found an early kill, I can understand it a little bit. But no, yeah, doubling back. They were seeing whether they could find an early kind of entry, which would give them that kind of renewed confidence. But yeah, as you mentioned, they haven't got too much left in the bank, so what's the point? Especially that AWP, make sure that ticks over. And Vertigo, he will park up and just make sure as best he can. The big green is making its way over in towards the next. HONORIS, there's still life between the eyes. There's still, you know, got a bit of kick about them. It's just the fact that they've got such a treacherous path to get back in towards this game. It just never makes you feel too comfortable at all. Such a gap built up. A 6-round deficit. And ENCE only 2 away from the all-elusive 16 on their map pick and pushing us towards Nuke. What a series, though, we've had already so far. These two sides both had moments of brilliance on their own map picks. Dominance. Which makes Nuke such an interesting affair. Which is looking like, not if we get there, more like when.
Yeah, certainly at this point they're going to have to pick up a few more rounds to start convincing us. Maybe the fans are behind them, but us not so much. Taz, though, going to get aggressive. Does open up onto Snappy. Well read. And once again, his brain is certainly firing on all cylinders across the course of this series. He's had some nice little moves. Some very smart stuff, I think, from Taz, I have to say.
I think he's very slow now. Very quiet. With numbers in their favour, they're doubling back over towards B. I don't mind this call. In fact, only one there to meet them is Dia, but Dia, when he gets called upon, he's pretty successful.
He's got a flasher on the way as well, and not the bad kind. He's got a great flash over the top here in just a second, I would imagine. In they all come, going to blind up his opponents. He's looking for a gap on the edge of the smoke. There's a couple that have already crossed, but a couple that are yet to do so, including the bomb. Oh, there's his opportunity to drop it. He doesn't quite capitalize. Lunatic going to find him around the smoke. They have another chance at getting the plant in here. Thank goodness for Taz's early pickup. There's an alert coming in from Taz, by the way. Keep your eyes on that one. It's being watched for by Madden. The bomb's gone down. Some Pious has evened things up. They're going to go for a very fast boost above this smoke. Down he will go. Oh, and in comes the strike from Taz at the perfect time. So, HONORIS putting a good few rounds together here. Still a long way back, but not looking too bad in the past couple.
Yeah. Agreed. I think Taz played that really well. I mean, he's just waiting, holding. The second he hears a fight being taken, he knows it will kind of drag the attention away from him or the possibility of him, and that's when he strikes. Lovely work. Really nice stuff. Opening kill from Taz does open things up. I think still quite a few question marks have to be asked about, yeah, especially Lunatic, right? 5 and 18. Simply not good enough. This guy's really struggled, but that's not a bad start. He will be traded out as Ryko on his back for one of his own numbers. In HONORIS' favour. Of course, firepower is too.
They push through mid here. Gonna hear all the noise over a B, so it kind of confirms that fact. And Sobol is working his way to get rid of an AK. Gonna lose his life in the process, though. If we had a bit of armor here, I don't think ENCE are going to get this one done. HONORIS looking to find where the gaps are at the moment. The gaps are on A. It would be the correct call. Snappy holding here from Ivy. He could get a good timing. I don't know. It's a lot of things that have to go right here. He's actually holding an open angle, so he will give himself away. Valde, that one scary player who's got the AK and all that, is miles away from the action. And now I would imagine we'll just hold that one-tap potential into the following round.
Yeah. That's going to be the case. Make sure the AK's continued over. I mean, Valda still continues to impress, right? Even when ENCE start to kind of dumb down a little bit or, you know, look a little bit blunt, Valda's still sharp as ever. 26 and 9. Kind of feels like a case of always good for one as well. I mean, he has been consistent, to say the least. Both T side, CT side. He's finding some form. Of course, this round it is just a case of keeping on what he's got. There will be a full buy for ENCE, though, in towards an X. An AK continued over is good to see. We did question what some players are going to be like as well. AWPing notoriously very difficult on this map. And to be honest, he hasn't really been asked too often to step up. So I guess that they're feeling okay. HONORIS, they will hit double digits. Of course, 16-10 was the scoreline in map number 1. Could get a mirrored one, but the other way here. We are going to see a pause, though. ENCE may be feeling a little bit of that pressure before heading in towards their next full buy. I mean, of course, there's some Pious. I'm assuming he has a drop on the floor somewhere. And not just wielding the USPS. Probably M4 down somewhere. But, yeah, pause called. ENCE, a good opportunity. There's an AWP, so some Pious will be alright. But, yeah. I mean, you look towards the ENCE side, and while it is still a comfortable position for them, they need to be careful not to let HONORIS get back in this. ENCE have technically only got, what, 2 max full buys left in them before HONORIS can be in the conversation for tying this game back up.
Well, we'll see. What a thing that would be if HONORIS can mount a comeback on the second map. This round is a bit of a tell-all here, as ENCE should be back into the swing of things with a timeout. Or not. Ryko with the God Spawn finds 2. Oh, disaster strikes on the B-bomb site, and now HONORIS, they are shaping up to indeed pull off said comeback. Just got to get this round out of the way. Maybe one more like it as well. We'll see what happens. ENCE, I would imagine, going to save.
Gotta be right. Has to be. And nothing to do with it. Bomb will go down. Post barn set up. And ENCE nowhere to be seen. HONORIS. I don't know, Scriv. We could see a very interesting ending for what has already been a stellar map here. What a performance, HONORIS. They're just keeping an arm's reach away. Just making sure that that door still has a crack of it open. We're not, in a done affair. Right now, 14-11. 3 rounds in it. This could be made very interesting on the way out. Exits are set up, and the M4s could make it expensive. Double spread out for Madden. And actually, Tazzy, to be careful, keep that AK across for himself. It will be alright. Some Pious find 1 as well, with a Lunatic continuing to underperform, unfortunately. Either way, HONORIS found 11. That's all that matters. We'll take whatever we can get as they go within 3. Fortunately for ENCE, though, of course, they do take a pretty hefty save there, so they can have no problems buying, and they probably have no problems buying for a little while, unless it's a complete stomping towards the next round. But another pause called, and you can sort of see how the ENCE side are beginning to feel that pressure quite a bit. This is quite the interesting one, where HONORIS, they're actually on a pretty clear path to potentially taking this the full distance. But while we do have attack pause, I thought I'd update the scores on the doors across the board, right? So, of course, we're in map number 2, 14-10. 14-11, may I say. Heat, they took it to map number 3, but it's currently 9-6 at the half in favour of B&E. Sprout just won map number 2, 16-13. And that was against 9, of course. And then in our other side of the bracket, in the third map, Monty are 15-11 up against Big. So we can see the number 1 seed overall in this tournament dropped out at the first stage.
Yeah, we got it all to play for, don't we, HONORIS? If they can find this round, they maybe start to make me believe, that's for sure. Hyping up, heating up here on Vertigo, all the way up in this skyscraper. Will we need nuke? At the moment, I'm saying yes. But I'm on the fence. And I'm here for a close game, that's for sure. Here we go then. B hit to come round. Nice mollies. D-Har gonna melt. Valde gonna go down. D-Har needs to pull a bit of something off here. And some Pious is in quite fast with the AWP, but Samey trades him out. Still this player at back 90. Can't do anything though. 4-on-2. Trading onto Snappy. Oh, goodness gracious. Madden. The hero 1v3 required. He's going to be able to get the nade down. Could finish off Taz. Not quite. Nearly. Oh, big tags. There's a kit available. This is doable for him. Samey, though, does not miss this time around. That was awfully close. And you can see they take a minute to just pause, say nice, and move into the next round. Beautiful stuff here. HONORIS pulling it back.
What a performance. What a performance we are seeing here. HONORIS, they're now for definite in reaching distance. And hence, I mean, the decision coming in towards round number 27 is not exactly a comfortable one. They are going to half bite, leaving money still left in the bank. And of course, loss bonus is fully built up for them, so they will have a full buy-in towards the next. My God, this is not a nice position for them to be in at all. DH will post up towards Wood, but he might get spammed. There's a common angle to do so. Molotov will come through, and that'll force a peek. And DH getting out of dodge. HONORIS, a good opportunity to go within one. And potentially be on the road to completing a comeback that we didn't think was a possibility.
I mean, it's already pretty astounding. I have to hand it to them. They've had some really good rounds here on the T side. It just begs the question if maybe they'd won out that pistol or, you know, a couple of clutch rounds in the middle of that first half.
Yeah.
But we ain't there. We ain't there. We're in the present. This is our timeline. And HONORIS looking to rewrite it ever so slightly. We indeed had started to talk about Nuke as the pretty much, I would have said, 85% possibility. They've used this 15%. Really effectively, a bailout of the B-bomb site coming in from ENCE. They will work their way around here on the HONORIS side, looking to retake control.
Yeah,
wow.
Wait a minute. They're giving it.
Okay. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think they are going for it. Just from a different angle. I'm not quite sure. I think someone's called to save and they really don't want to. Yeah, looking for an opportunity on the extremities, but not a chance.
I mean, especially, I was going to say, especially the Hempfire 1S has to be kept over. It's actually Zappy who gets picked. Thankfully, it can just be picked up. The same with that pixel peak angle. Finding a freebie there. My God, HONORIS within one. 13 rounds on the board for them. And hence, they are starting to crumble under the pressure. A Polish roster who nobody even expected to make it through the open quals. They surprised everybody just by making it this far. Are now surprising everybody by potentially being in or entering that conversation of a 2-0. And what a story and what an upset that would be. Of course, job is most definitely not done yet. As a full buy is once again back out for ENCE. A full save gives them plenty of cash to work with. But this is the one, right? Find this round. And they more or less guarantee that HONORIS can get themselves up to 15. They'll tie the game up. And ENCE will have nothing left in the bank apart from D here. This is the all-important one. This is the most important round HONORIS have played so far in 2023.
Madness. Absolute madness. Yeah, to think that is a hell of a tagline there, my friend. And all true. Sobol. Looking for the info play here. Valde with an aggressive angle. Usually there's a man below him on this one. They're going to go in for the trade. They're not able to get it. 2K comes around from Valde. Massive. Absolutely massive, especially that early on into the round. Sammy does trade him out. Some Pius, meanwhile, not forced off this angle. They are going to try and look to give B a go. Molly comes in. Dihar above, trying to find a kill with the MP9. He's giddy for it. Really confident for it. Molly will force him forwards. In comes the flash. It's a laboured fight, but it's so effective from some Pius. And it allows him to get 2. See you later. ENCE going to hit 15 unless Sammy, their highest fragging player, combined with Raiko. Unless this guy can pull off the incredible.
I think he's not even going to attempt that storyline. What a clutch that would be. What a storyline that would be. I mean, you've got 11k, right? May as well. Give it a little go. I think he should have money to work with. I guess the rest of the team don't have as stable of an economy as he does. But he's going to have a little peer in. See what he can find. I don't think there's too much really to deliver. I'm wanting towards Tetris. But of course, no bomb in hand. Not exactly going to make this an easy affair. He might just park up in towards sandbags, hold, wait, and see off the final remaining 10 seconds. Hence, find themselves at 15. One hurdle away from pushing us towards Nuke. But in the same note I was saying towards HONORIS, I have to say for ENCE, the job is not done. OT is a necessity, however, for the Polish roster if they want to still be in with a chance of taking this 2-0. 15-13. HONORIS still do have tack pauses to work with. I'm pretty sure they still have 2 left. They aren't going to call for any of them. They're just going to go into towards this one. A full buy, as we mentioned, of course, as they got plenty of cash to work with. But at this point, long-term economy doesn't really make a difference. Hence, one away.
Well, HONORIS going to go in with something nice and fast here. They're going to get put back by a Molotov. 1 nade. Just minimal damage. Madden gets the hell out of dodge from sandbags. Pretty decent stuff. Meanwhile, the trade damage back is pretty clean. They had the right idea. I think that's what they were going to go for fast, but the Molotov just stopped them. So they're immediately back to the drawing board, pulling away from the ramp take and unsure of where to go next.
Already little bit of damage, bits of information, nothing really being given here. Some players been a little bit quieter than maybe we would have expected at times. But now would be a good time to shine. Samey, the Orper on the other side, looking for any bits of information, but not really being given too much. Some players gonna start poking his head around. Needs to be careful not to overextend.
Needs to be careful indeed.
Hello.
Contact ramp. Oh, goodness. Snappy taking a peek. Good for one. That's maybe all they need. Snappy actually finds two. Oh, nearly the 4K in for him. Where did all those bodies go? It's just going to be Samey to save the game against 5, essentially. And that is a mean feat. Absolutely not going to be able to do this, you would assume. They are giving him the full space. The flash comes in. Where's the peak? There's the peak as he goes for the bomb plant. The fake out. He's now trapped and down he will go. 16-13. Ooh, it was certainly hard work for ENCE in the end on their map pick. It looked like it should have been a dominating series. Sorry, a dominating map, but no, not the case. And now we do indeed require that third and final of Nuke.
Yeah, what a series. What a series we are getting here. These two sides, I mean, it seems inseparable. It's probably the better way to put it. We could have, and we were sort of building up the narrative around, we could have seen a 2-0 of HONORIS. They were starting to get that snowball effect under their belt and starting to play some crack